I was running the business. My family, I was 19 years old, and the business was turned over to me. And I couldn't sustain the business. And since you mentioned an Army, it was the Army that was keeping my business going. See, so you might say that I joined the Army before I joined the Army because I was drafted into the Army, all right, under threat of going to jail, okay? But at the same time, I was in a small town, and there was a camp called Camp Gruber. The town had been sustained by people who had small farms before then, just barely making it, most of the people. But they were able to make it on their own to a degree, the people who had the small farms, during what we call World War II. An Army camp was put there at that town in Oklahoma, and it was called Camp Gruber. Camp Gruber became the driving force behind the so-called quote-unquote economics of that town until 1945. After 1945, the camp closed, in which case the base for the money that I was receiving from soldiers coming to town, spending their money, government money, that ceased. The town began to immediately die. I mean, overnight, it began to die, which means my little Negro business on the colored side of town immediately began to die. And it was just all that the people who were left there could do, just to barely make it. And most of them wasn't really making it. They were always in trouble.
Okay.
I mean, they were always in great need. So many people left there. I was one of them, but I was left. I left there because I was then, after feeding soldiers in the restaurant that I was running and in the hotel that I was running and housing them, particularly on weekends and whatnot, I went from doing that to becoming a soldier myself because I was drafted into the Army. See, because we're still prisoners of war. That's another thing. People sometimes ask me, well, us black people got to stop cooperating with the white supremacists. How are you not going to cooperate with the warden of the prison that you are born in when you don't have any other place to go except that prison? You are confined to that prison. I always remind people of that. I've done it on this program. We are all prisoners of war.
Yeah, but
we are already prisoners.
Yeah. Now,
it's not like we can step outside the gates and do something on our own.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as that.